We lived in the trees. Why it looks melted. Part 8. So another example of the tree tunnels, slightly different. You could imagine the tree to be a lot bigger and the tunnel coming through, but avoiding the core of the tree. So, you know what I mean, just to serve an example and stuff. You see, it's got like light coming through that way and stuff like. So, you know, it could have been really high up, or whatever scenario or location and stuff kind of thing. But also, like, because of like the wood cut and all that kind of stuff, and what it could potentially look like, like back then when it were all original and stuff kind of thing, when when the giant trees were and stuff like, and there were big tunnels going through them and stuff like, and the potentiality for like living spaces and storage spaces, all that kind of stuff. Stars, hotels, I don't know. It depends. It's like, what the culture were like and stuff like that. I mean, that's like room for speculation and stuff like, did they trade or not and stuff. So, but just as an example and stuff. And also it's got like that rock almost kind of formation and stuff like, you can see it. Another burnt tree. See, most of it's there, but outside is gone and it's made a big cavity and going through it kind of thing. Like, but you've got all these patterns, you know what I mean? And a lot of them are original tree patterns and stuff like. It's only lightly scorched, really. On outside anyway. So then the buried in ash type of thing. So this is after a volcano. So you see how it's all soft, it's smoothed it all out and all these kind of things. And then you get this edge. It's like a layer of snow's fallen off the roof on it, you know what I mean? And it's kind of left that gap and stuff like. Similar pattern. And it's almost Christmas in it, so it's a picturesque kind of images and stuff like. So like all that there, it's got like it's bumping. You can see it a bit up window as well. Bumping in. When it's like, it's kind of overlaid and stuff, and it's not really caught onto that bit. This is a different, because it's like, the car's going through it, so examples of that, I don't know, you know what I mean? Landslides and all these kind of things and stuff like. I've got that one. There we go. So also connecting this to like mud floods. Now, Tartaria don't give me the impression that the giant trees were still around and all that kind of stuff like. So I imagine like way before then, like any settlements that were or buildings that were made or whatever and stuff like that were potentially just bedded and stuff like, and they might, like hundreds of meters down and stuff like that kind of thing. Like the amount of stuff that's fallen, you can see it on mountains and stuff like. And if this is just from one volcano, I think it was in Russia, this one. The amount that it's done, it's loads. It's completely hidden what were underneath. You don't know if you had grass, a patio, a pathway, or I mean, all these kind of things and stuff. And again, on roofs, all that kind of stuff. This shape, I mean, because it's soft and it can build on itself and stuff like, like snow. It's that same kind of way where it goes, kind of thing. So then again, you got all soft hills, all that kind of stuff like, and then the amount where it's left don't care, and then these kind of patterns. Obviously got the break, and then like the you know, you can see another brake line there. It's like it's slid off on it. This is what's remained underneath. And then you get like your bubbled up, almost like ballooning. Although we know it's not ballooning kind of thing, like it's just how it's settled onto it and stuff. That would be a mount, there's like loads in there. Small area. Oh, build up there. It's all quite smooth, so these patterns and stuff. All this. So it looks like a mountain. The amount of mountains we've got with this kind of shape going to it. Obviously top as well, but like that and stuff. It's been coated, buried like that. You see it all coming down. It's like, that's kind of like, them when you go into mountains and stuff. How it, how it levels up and stuff like that. We're being soft and stuff. Like I mentioned about like rain making channels through it and stuff like, because it's soft, it's easy for it to cut through, so it can make loads of pathways, rather than everything having to rely on the, finding the one pathway kind of thing, or however many, but again, the amount is loads. I don't know if that's like on a roof, so it might not be that deep, you know what I mean, kind of thing, like, but you got like, there's a doorway there, isn't there, so you can see, and this could be on a roof and stuff like, but still, you've got all this layered on these roofs and stuff. So now I want to look at a meltologist video showing pictures of assumed melted buildings and stuff like. It only had music up at top, so there's no kind of like narrative going along with it and stuff like. But other than the melted building idea, but if you like like my previous videos lived in the trees and all that kind of stuff like, and these previous additions and stuff to this one. You got like, if this is carved out of wood, you can see it's still, well, there's no difference, you know what I mean? It does look carved out, and there's nothing put there, you know what I mean, and stuff like. So for that to be the same substance of what the rest of it is, and it used to be tree and all that kind of stuff, wood. So for it to be carved out is one, really easy, you know what I mean? You got like this here. This is like connected to all this, so it's like just one piece. It's been carved out. You know what I mean? That would be a lot easier to do, wouldn't it, than to do it to stone and stuff like. Oh, you got stuff like this. This is warped. I don't know if this happened over time. You know what I mean? It's like a sunk maybe. Have I tried to fix it? There's some white lines which are more prominent. You know what I mean? I'd have to go and see it properly and stuff like that kind of thing to know for sure and stuff like. But in terms of like certain examples and I'm trying to look at it properly, you know what I mean, at least, and stuff like. So you got this here, they get smaller and they come to an end. And so it's like, I don't see a melted aspect because, where's the rest of them? I don't know. But In some cases and stuff like that kind of thing, but maybe some sort of melted building kind of situations, like we showed with the brick and all that kind of stuff. Like, but the worldwide cataclysm where all the mountains are melted buildings, it's very unlikely, you know. But I mean, I've got no idea to explain that. I wouldn't say it was melted though. So anyway, pull back a bit, and then we've got all this here, the external. It's showing you the same kind of patterns of, like, you know, if this were burnt, it used to be a building, used to be carved out, and now we've got like the cindered remains kind of thing. With, you know, most of the potential art, because you got all the dark here as well and all that kind of thing. And you see these here, that looks like the remains of fire and stuff. Like, maybe it were a chimney, but you know, got all this here as well. So yeah, it's got some burn staining. I mean, it could be just ash, soot and smoke and stuff like that, which hit it and stuff like. Rather than like the charcoal and all that kind of stuff from there to be staining it. It's still potential though, because you got it all dripping down, so it's likely if it's come from above or from itself and stuff. But there's a few things. I mean, like the thickness of that is quite interesting. You know what I mean? It'd be quite soundproof if people are walking on that level. You know what I mean? To compared to this level, this were probably encased in. You can see that wall there. You probably couldn't see people walking through it and stuff. And there are some things. You see, you notice like brickwork there. It looks like brickwork. And then you can see this line. It's only thin, you know what I mean, and stuff like. So that's like the underside of that archway, and maybe we did put tiles on, you know what I mean, and stuff like. Tiles rather than actual bricks and stuff kind of thing. Because the rest of it looks one solid piece. You can't really see any level of construction and stuff. You know, with all this here and stuff, like, it just connects to the wall, which connects to the floor. It's like all one piece, so carving it out, I mean, you'd enjoy doing it. You know what I mean? Making a new home and stuff like that kind of thing, and carving it out of a big massive block like this, or what it used to be. More of these, which we looked at these before and stuff like. But all the detail of the exterior, it kind of looks like the ash. The ash on the photos, it was freshly laid. You know what I mean? This has had like years and years of work in. Although there is a potential, what if they actually designed the houses to look like this? You know what I mean? And that's like the roofing material that they put on it. You know what I mean? Alternatively, they were bigger structures of trees and stuff kind of thing, and it's like, you know, just all the debris which has come down and it's all burnt off, and rooms were potentially bigger. They had a front to them maybe, and all these kind of things. The front of them were part of the tree. You know what I mean? Part of the side of the tree. You know, for each one. Because in one sense you wouldn't have an open, but we're not open if that's the outside wall. You know what I mean? So, but for potential more room, you know what I mean? It just depends on what it looked like. You see all the debris there, so that looks like debris rather than intentionally putting all this on. And then you've got surrounding structures which don't have rooms. You know what I mean? They're like the actual forest, petrified forest remains and stuff. Yeah, I'm not seeing melted. I'm just seeing, you know, because that's accurate. You know what I mean? Everything that kills, but it doesn't mean it's melted. It's just part of, if you would carve it to want it to be structurally sound, wouldn't you? And, there's so many things, like a lot of that might be burnt away, and like I said for other one, a similar kind of situation, like earlier. With Cindy's, we discussed those. I can't see anything melted. I suppose you've got all this, which comes over the top. It's either part of the tree, or what's it called? It could be part of a tree and a layer of like concrete ash kind of thing. So we get pictures like this, and especially when we compare them to the all that on top of it and stuff. It seems to have buried everything. Looks like it's got this big coat of something, like dripping over it kind of thing. Like the ash, you know what I mean? So again, like at the back there, it's either tree or tree covered in the cement. Ash. Which would have been like a cement, I imagine. Like a weak cement, you know what I mean? But I say again, it looks like bark, but it could be the layer of ash, you know what I mean, which kind of just coated everything in it, you know what I mean, and then like, that's all preserved underneath or whatever and stuff. So they look like passageways, maybe, you know what I mean. I'm not entirely sure. It might be just weathering and decaying over time or whatever and stuff like. You see how it's cracked there, and that could have burnt it very lightly. When it were a tree, this it just looks built into it. Maybe there were rooms and caves which are already part of it and stuff like, which encouraged you even more to make a structure. I mean, to live there or whatever and stuff. Brickwork or woodwork, like back in the ancient tree times, when we did live amongst the trees. So I mean, I don't want to say that brickwork didn't exist, or that we couldn't, because we've got the remains. It doesn't mean we didn't have wood structures attached to it. You know what I mean? We could have had deckings going around trees, and like a spiraling around it as a way up. You know what I mean? And all floors and stuff kind of thing. Rooms, every time you go up a level and stuff, there's more access and stuff. This one, it looks like a wall set back slightly, and then you got this effect. But and see, what I see is it looks like water's worn it away, you know what I mean, and stuff like. And I couldn't understand it because it's like, it looks like it's the wrong way, you know what I mean, and stuff like. Is it the next picture? No, there's another picture there. Hold on. Well, I've seen another picture of it, and the ocean's there. So this is flat, and that's where the water is. So water comes in, and it splashes everything. It wears it away. So all this stuff is worn away. So they're missing the top level, and then they're just completely just worn. You know what I mean, and stuff like. And then you can say it's another level. So any of them will become so small. You know what I mean, and it was separated and stuff. Same with next level. You can see line, another line, and then that line. So you can see it there, how it goes up. It's almost like steps. And then it's flat there kind of thing, which I imagine that'll be washing away as well and stuff like. But like an example of melting, like the ice cubes reduce in size, don't they? So all this is reducing in size every time a layer of sand goes missing off it. So that's why it's kind of creating all this pattern and stuff. I suppose I'll, you know, it's over. Well, you can see it there. It's like an ice cube melting, you know what I mean, in that kind of sense. So you can see the resemblance of melting to a certain degree, but that's not melted. You got all this rock, and then you got your bricks, rock bricks. You got it up here. It looks like part of cliffside, and then this is built up to it. Built up to it, you know what I mean, which is quite common. You know what I mean, we even do that today and stuff like. You can have a girder replaced in house, can't you? You know what I mean, and but anyway, so it's difficult to tell that wall. I think the quality is not that good. It looks like you've got, you know what I mean, it's a bit in between, you know what I mean, and stuff like maybe they used some big blocks to create this wall and stuff like. Maybe it was wood at the time. It looks burnt. It's got that charred layer on it, kind of thing. There, it's worn off and it's all clean. But for the most part, I think it's just refurbishment from the old world. You know what I mean? A lot of these blocks might not have existed because, like, you know, it weren't petrified. So, like I said, to make clay, that's a different thing. But to make rock, it's difficult for people to do. Maybe it weren't. Maybe it were easy to do, to petrify wood. Ah, yeah, we already got it. You can see ocean there. So ocean tide comes in, and then it washes it all away. There's metal stuck in there. That might be related to like buried in everything, because like it's buried when petrified. That type of idea and stuff like they might have been like embers and stuff kind of thing around it. That would be easier. I'm not looking at my camera half the time. It's difficult to watch your camera and do what you're trying to present, because it looks different. I don't know. It seems different somehow. So yeah, you know, there's no evidence of melted either, kind of thing. Not what I'm seeing here. You see it's missing there. Maybe that's just burnt away. Maybe it's weathered away, you know what I mean? But I definitely think there were a great fire which destroyed all the trees. Yeah, everything else is just like trying to piece it together and stuff. So like, you know, like these entrances, they might have come out. There might have been a deck in there. There might have been a deck on all of it. They might have had stairs to come and connect them all and all that kind of stuff. They might have had lots of wooden structures around the bottom as well. You know, like stalls or whatever and stuff like. Like I say, it depends upon whether trade were used and all these kind of things and stuff like. But that doesn't mean they couldn't have, you know, more wooden structures and stuff. Stables, you know what I mean, or other storage type things and stuff. I think it really does depend on age as well. So that looks all like ash, and then they're built into it, kind of thing. But again, it doesn't look melted. Yeah, it's part of a tree you built onto it. Probably used to live amongst it, and it's probably all. You probably, I don't know. Like a lot of them cave systems might not even be accessible because we've got, you know, we're buried with ash and stuff. Cut into wood. and then weathered, with it being sandstone and stuff. In distance as well. Burnt away. It's got that angle to it. You know what I mean? It'd want to burn it back that way. It'd, what's it called? It'd burn the bottom as well. It'd just all reduce in size, but it'd want to, because the heat's going up in it and stuff like. So again, there used to be flaws with looks of it and stuff. Particularly these were fully encased, so you know what I mean. It will like the walls that went around it and stuff, kind of thing, were the tree and stuff. You know, now that's missing, kind of thing. I can't really tell what's going on in terms of melted, but it just looks carved out, you know. You could still carve outside. Like you got this here. Unless this, because that looks brick-like, doesn't it? But you can tell that doesn't look brick-like. So it doesn't look brick-like there. But you could definitely sand that. You know what I mean? Chop it smooth, you know, into the right shape and then smooth it off and stuff. When it were wood. You know, you could still do it when it's stone, but it'd be a lot more difficult. I say all wood. It's all clustered in it and stuff like. That's like the top of it and stuff. If that were all burnt away and then it's been worn down basically, it's weaker, soft. See, it's all clustered together. These lines are typical of a fire. So this is probably on fire, kind of thing. You got all the, you know, I mean, the crenellations that it creates, all the cracks and stuff. Refurbished. I don't know. I think refurbished. Same for all of them when we've got stonework on top of it. You can see that's quite a significant difference. It depends on location as well, for what weather conditions and stuff. If you get sandstorms and all that kind of thing, that can be quite abrasive, can't it? Again, with this type of stuff, it's embedded in the wood. But if it were put into wood, you know what I mean? If that were part of the design initially, you know what I mean? And stuff like, you get your tree ankle, whatever you call them, you know, I mean, it digs into the ground and stuff like. They're using that as, you know, they've hooked that into it. This is something to do with making boats, maybe, and it's strong enough to hold it for what we want it for. You know what I mean? Maybe it's ropes to stabilise the boat as we lift it up to put the other side together, you know, however we build them. And so it would have been easy to put a hole into it so it can hold something, you know. Going to rock, it'd be, you know, be a nightmare, you know what I mean? Because like you're risking breaking it all the time, and you'd have to start again. You'd have to find another rock with another rock at the other side, the same distance. It'd be a nightmare. Built up to it. You see in Indian caves in America and stuff like Arizona and all that lot, and you got them canyons and they're built up to it and stuff like. You can see that there's a difference, like the rock and then the stone that's being used. Or is it sea level? Most likely. Yeah, and if this were a tree on fire, you've got these edges like that. It's potentially burnt that way, or it's just filled in that way. You see background, it looks filled in. But when you got all this missing, it looks, you got these lines. I know weather can, like rain and stuff like that kind of thing, it finds a pathway and stuff like that kind of thing, it can create them lines, but sometimes it's too, say them like them stones in Africa or Yana, you know, there's similar patterns to it all. And then everything buried as well. You know, like all the soft stuff which fell away there. Like it was nothing but ash. It's, so yeah, about another tree coming out kind of thing. I'm at my 33-minute mark.